thank the Cathaoirleach, the Chair and members of the committee for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Julie Muprhy and I'm a 16-year-old climate activist representing Clare, Courland and Nogue. With today's theme being youth perspectives on climate challenges, I believe young people's perspective is clear, with thousands of us in Ireland alone tackling this climate crisis right now. Sorry, can I just get some water? My mouth is very dry. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Apologies. So, with today's theme being youth perspectives on climate challenges, I believe young people's perspective is clear, with thousands of us in Ireland alone tackling this climate crisis right now. Climate action is not an option for us. It is a necessity, because our Earth is being destroyed, our futures are being erased, and we cannot let it happen. Every day, we hear of the consequences of the climate crisis, a human-made problem. The rising temperatures, fires, floods, droughts, hurricanes, people struck by poverty, more climate refugees, inequalities being exacerbated, another species extinct, more deaths. Contrarily, we also hear of record levels of carbon dioxide being pumped into the atmosphere, of new fossil fuel stations being built, of no action being taken. I wondered what prevents action against this crisis from being taken. Why are young people leading the change and not all generations, all of society, all the people in power? The conclusion I discovered is costs. When the climate crisis is mentioned, it is the negative costs, the finance, the deficits, the impact on the economy that is the main concern, and as a result, prevents action. So, in hopes of actions transpiring from this speech, I will talk about this topic of costs and finance. Short-term economic gains and an unsustainable economic model of growth at all costs blinkers us against the disaster that we're hurtling towards. We must remove these blinkers and face up to the actions we must take to tackle this crisis. A crucial action to take to reach Ireland's climate targets and goals in a just way is equitable investment. Ireland needs to transition to a stage where sustainability and a greener way of living are the cheaper options, therefore becoming the more desired and default option. At the moment, this transition to a sustainable, greener way of living is a privilege that only some can afford. For example, if you want to install solar panels on a house, the average cost is close to €8,000, with the support of government grants included. With the typical earnings of an Irish person annually being almost €40,000, people would have to spend 20% of their yearly earnings just on solar panels. Households do not have this money to spare, as they are struggling to afford rising fuel costs, energy bills, and surging costs of living. The expensive cost of choosing the greener option leaves people reluctant to do so and leave those who cannot afford it behind. In 2020, there were almost 700,000 people living in poverty in Ireland, with disadvantaged populations who are already facing inequalities making up a large percentage of this huge number. These inequalities prevent people from being involved in this sustainable transition and leave them vulnerable to the effects of this climate crisis. This needs to be solved. We cannot accept 700,000 people languishing in poverty as normal. By working to eradicate poverty, providing grants to support lower-income households, and ensuring people facing inequalities are included in these constructive climate dialogues so their voices are heard, are only some solutions. We, as Irish people, have many advantages when tackling this climate crisis. We are a small country, we are surrounded by renewable energies like the wind and ocean, we have the money to invest compared to other countries, we have the will of the people, and we have a rich history of resilience, innovation and creation to support us. Think of the Ardnacrusha hydroelectric station being built in 1920s Clare. We can lead, encourage other countries to follow and support developing countries in this transition. There are many immediate solutions available to us to ensure Ireland can transition to a sustainable, green and net zero way of life. Investing in renewable energies, supporting technological creations, banning single-use plastics, ensuring businesses are choosing the sustainability, supporting farmers and fishers in their transition to greener methods, protecting biodiversity, and providing grants and tax breaks to assist people are only a few examples. The Climate Action Fund is an essential step in the right direction for investing and has the potential to support Ireland in our transition and achieving our climate targets, with €500 million being provided from 2018 to 2027. However, to successfully achieve this sustainable transition and our climate targets, to support all sectors of society along the way, the amount provided by this fund would need to be increased by a factor of 10. If we do not invest the money in this sustainable transition, we will face great economic costs regardless. In 2014 to 2018, we spent €101 million in response to extreme weather events across Ireland, weather events that will only get worse. If we do invest the money into this transition preventatively, we can avoid costs like these and future expected costs. For example, by planting hundreds of thousands of native trees, the soil would be healthier, so agriculture could flourish. There would be more animal habitats, so native species could thrive. The air would be cleaner, the trees would provide a cooling effect, and carbon would be captured from the atmosphere. Just by planting trees, expected costs from agriculture, animal protection, air cleaning, home cooling, public health, and carbon capture are all decreased. This climate crisis is a rare chance for us all to right our wrongs, to tackle the inequalities of our world and return balance to the chaos we have caused. This transition to a better world is already happening as many people and sectors of society are changing. It is time that we all make the changes needed, now, together, for a better world for all. Gurv Míle Maith.